Hey y'all, hey. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Meditations with Marini. And today we're going to talk about something that's a little bit sensitive, but it is also a carryover from a previous video that I did about women and their money. And I want to talk to men now about your money. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is men, stop leading with your wallet. And I want to talk to you about that because many times men will try to lead with their wallet in order to impress a woman. And what you will find in the long run is that money is not, it may motivate someone, but it is not going to continue to keep them attached to a relationship. It may attract them, it may pull them into something, but if it's a woman that you found that you had to use your funds in order to, and I'm not talking about general things where if you love a woman you help her pay her rent, or you pay a light bill for her, or you help her with her car note or something like that. I'm not talking about the natural things of life. I'm talking about a woman where there is a movement right now, especially with these young women. I be thinking to myself, my sons might not never get married, because the things that I'm hearing online in reference to women and what they're doing and how they're expecting for men to cater to their needs as far as their financial components, one, is unrealistic for the average person with a salary in the United States, and two, it just does not promote anything that's going to last forever. If the motivating factor in a relationship is going to be a foundation of money, it's going to crumble as soon as the money is no longer there. So I will just say caution yourself in that area. But specifically, I wanted to talk about, and we're going to actually pray on this session, because I feel like this is a super sensitive subject, but I also feel that it is one that somebody sitting on the other side of this video is needing to hear. And so according to Google search, it says in general, women are more likely to initiate divorce proceedings than men. Studies indicate that approximately 69% of divorces are initiated, keyword, by women. This means that men initiate the remaining roughly 30% of divorce. Keyword being that the woman is more likely to initiate it. That doesn't mean that in most marriages that women are more unhappy than the man. That just means that she's more likely to move on it, to respond to it, to make a movement towards it. There's another research that has been done, and I just scrolled through, and it says about 70% of divorces are initiated by women. On top of that, 4 out of 10 men report feeling regret about getting divorced. That says 4 out of 10 men regret it. So that means basically 40% of men who got divorced had a regret for it. So what does that mean? I'm a numbers person. So that means that 60% of the men who got the divorces, they were glad to get it. They were happy. They may not have initiated it, but they were happy to get it to happen. And I want to use this moment. And one of the things I notice is that I always wait to the end to ask you guys to click like, to share with a friend, and to subscribe. And I'm going to ask you to do that right now. So if you just take a moment, click the like button. If you have a friend that you think could use this information based upon what I just gave you, I would love for you to share it with someone. But more than anything, I would like to ask you to subscribe. So thank you for taking a moment to do that. So even though it says that women are more likely to initiate it, one of the things I want to tap into is that men are just as unhappy in their relationships oftentimes as women are. So it is not statistically that, women are just unhappy. There are many men that are walking around who have been in a relationship for years, and they have been unhappy, they have been unfulfilled, they have been dissatisfied, they have been sexually deprived, and unfortunately, most times they are only willing to stay because, one, they made the commitment, two, they may have a religious undergirding or foundation that they are holding on to that component because of what they believe religiously, and three, they are typically not wanting to give up their money. I'm gonna let that sit right there. It's all attached to the dollar. Yes. And so guess what? Men, you can't lead with your wallet and then expect for her to have a heart posture for you. So when you think about those things, and I want to make sure that it's understood that I am not advocating for divorce. That's not what I'm advocating for. I'm a strong component and advocate of marriage, but I am an advocate and a strong, I believe in strong, healthy marriages. So what does that mean in reference to me? I talk to people all the time. I counsel with people because my degree is in human services. Oftentimes, I'm more that relatable friend. I can talk to my friends about their relationships, and they can have conversations with me about their husbands, or even the men about their wives, and I can give them sound, solid, biblical advice. I'm going to always encourage them to try to work it out. But I remember when my husband and I were going through counseling, and we were going through counseling with my pastors at the time. And I will never forget the day that my pastor, this particular time we were going, and my pastor sat us down. Like when he first started the session, he said, first thing that I'm going to ask you guys is, do you want to be married? And I remember that day. In previous times, I had said something different. But that day, I said, no, I don't want it anymore. And so at that point, we could have killed the counseling session. We could not talk about it. My pastor was a little taken back. I said, I don't want it no more. Like, I don't even want to be here. Like, today I'm just here just to say that we came so that we could make sure that we're going through this process. But at the end of the day, like, I can go on and give it to him right now. And I'm going to be honest, we may have stayed married another year or so. Well, we may have stayed together because we separated for 2 years before I actually filed for divorce. And so I'm saying that to you, that oftentimes people are still in relationships that are no longer going to be beneficial to them, and especially men. I believe that right now, if I had not filed for divorce, even though I guess for whatever reason he was unhappy with me, even though he would not admit to that, he would not see what we could do to actually work on that in a positive way. Now, anybody will go to counseling. When you get people like that, they'll go to counseling. A lot of times, especially what I hear from men, is that women go to counseling just because they want to look for a way to blame him. But oftentimes, even when the counselor tells her that she's in the wrong, or she's done something that has caused the marriage to be in a place where it is, she still don't take responsibility for it. So to be honest with you ladies, this video may actually be more driven, or more it may lean more towards the male or the man in this situation. And that's just because I am a very balanced person, and I believe in balance. I don't believe in taking sides. I'm for what's right, not just for what's popular. So this video may not be popular amongst some people, but it's going to be really popular amongst others. And so what I will say to you men is that some of you are contemplating, like, what do I do? Do I stay here? I know many men that are, I won't say many, I know from my conversations with men in the barbershop and at the pool halls, like many of them will say that, Mary, I'm not going to get married because I don't want to give up my pension. I don't want to sell my house. That was my house before I met her, and I've already talked to an attorney, and they told me that I'm gonna have to give her half my house or whatever. And to be honest, when you meet a woman that she's like that, like, I didn't ask for anything in my divorce. When I asked him to give me back what I already had, which I had a house when I met him. So yes, I wanted the house. I didn't want the house because I wanted to take it from him. I wanted the house because that's what I had when I came into the relationship. That's what I brought with me. He brought his pension. He brought his job. He brought his years of service that he had. I let him take that right with him. I didn't ask for any alimony. I didn't want none of his pension. I didn't want any of that. Now, I might have to do another video to loop back around, because when he found out, like how much equity we had in the house, and, he came back and he said, oh, no, you getting ready to give me that. And I said, okay. Now, I was going to walk away. I was going to wave a white flag, let you walk right on out the door with all the things that you've done to me and all this evidence that I have that could stack up against you. I wasn't going to ask for anything. But I want you to understand, if you want half the house, I'm going to give you half the house. But you're going to give me half your pension. You're going to give me that Social Security. You're going to give me, like, I just started checking off. He came back, he said, that's okay. I'll just give you the house. Yeah, okay. Because one thing about me is I'm sweet as pie. But you ever pull out that other part of me when it comes down to mistreating me, then it's going to be a different ball game. And so, men, I'm going to say that to you. If you've done right by your wife and you have done the right things, you've made sure that you have lived according to, and it might not even be a godly life. My channel is from a Christian standpoint, but it may not be that you've even done a, you may have been doing godly things and not even knowing that you were doing them if you did the right thing by her and you assured that you took care of your household. And if she is interested in your pension, what I will say to you, because what I found is that most men that I've talked to, they will find a way to fulfill their needs outside of the marriage, and they'll stay in the marriage just because they don't want to give up their money. Well, there's no joy in that either. There's no happiness in being able, yeah, you can go out and you can find happiness with somebody else and you can enjoy them and their time. But what is that like if that's your home and that's the place where you have to spend the majority of your time? It's no joy in that. For me, it is important that my home is a place of happiness, joy, peace, because there's no place else in the world that I can go to get that. So it's important for me to create that here in my home for me, but also for my mate. And so if you're not getting that in your relationship and you are watching this video and you are trying to contemplate whether or not you are supposed to file those papers, I can't tell you that you should, but what I can tell you is that I know of many success stories where men that I know who have walked away from everything that they had. I know some that had to pretty much give up everything, go live like in a family's basement, a family member's basement, or had to go live with a friend in one of their rooms. And then they met the right woman. And now you can't even tell that their life was what it was when he went through it. But when he was going through it, it would be difficult. And some of these are family members. Some of them are just my friends. And they are men who I counsel through that process. I encourage them. They're not men that had an interest in me, but they're just my friends that I watch them go through those processes. And these are good men. Like, it was nothing, not to say that they didn't do anything wrong in their marriage, but they loved their wives. Before they got to a point of divorce, they were coming to me and saying, Marnie, what can I do to make her happier? Can I do this? Can I take her here? Can I do this? And let me tell you something about a woman that loves you. And I'm talking to men. When she loves you, you don't have to do anything for her. She's going to be happy just to be in your presence. I'm going to let that sit right there for a minute. Like, she's not going to have to be going on no fancy trips. You're not going to have to buy her no exotic cars. You're not going to have to be getting her no big bags. I mean, like, she will enjoy that. Yes, we do. We like those things. But you also have to know your person and know what she likes. Like, I really kind of think about what I really want. I like purses. I'm a purse girl. And I like some shoes. I'm not big on shoes, name brand shoes, but I like different shoes. But I'm a purse girl. But I'm really peculiar about the purses that I get, not because of the brand that's on them. It's because I'm going to carry the same purse all the time. Like, I'm not one of those to change purses a lot. So I need a good purse because I need for the strap to actually be a good strap so that it can handle the daily wear and tear. So I learned many, 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 many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, I stopped buying the little cheap bags because they would tear up on the handle. And I began to invest in a purse that was a little bit more quality. So my desire for purses has nothing to do with me wanting to carry a certain type of fashion. It has a lot to do with me wanting a purse that has a sturdy strap on it. And if I'm really honest with you, most times Coach, Michael Kors, or I like Kate Spade, those are typically the three go-to for me. I probably have more Coach purses than anything else. I like that brand. I like the way that they make their purses. But for a man that's with me, so he could get me a Louis Vuitton, but I just don't know if I'd really be carrying that every day in the places that I go. Like, I don't really have a Louis Vuitton type lifestyle. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anybody else that carries that every day, but just for me, you know, me and my Louis and my black stretch pants is, I don't know. I don't feel like it matches, if that makes sense. And what I'm saying to you men is, if you're with a woman that she really wants to be with you, then it doesn't matter what things that you bring to the table monetarily. Do you need to have a level of financial stability? Yes, you do. Like, that needs to be in place. And even at our age, honestly, if you're a man that you're 40, 50 years old and you're going through a divorce, you may or may not even have the financial components in place, because you may have lost some of those things in the process of going through the divorce or getting ready to file for it. So when you meet the next person, I know some of the guys that I know, when they met their wives that they have now, they didn't have a lot. But now you wouldn't even know the difference, because they got with the right woman. So I'm going to stop right there. I think I might come back and do a part 2 if you guys like this. I need for you to click like. I need for you to share it with a friend. And I need for you to subscribe. All right, get in the comments and let me know something. Bye.